Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Public Safety Commission. This Thursday, February 9th. The time is now 6 p.m., so I'll call this meeting to order. We're going to start with the swearing in of Public Safety Commissioners, as this is a brand new term, and so we have some reappointed commissioners as well as some brand new commissioners. So I'll turn it over to Daniel McVeigh, our Deputy City Clerk, who will administer the oath.
Good evening. Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you, Donna Lozano, Brian Muse, who's absent, Kenneth Mitchell, Martin Mitchell, and Jose Trejo solemnly swear or affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of California, and that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which you are about to enter? Congratulations.
And just to note, the official oath will be emailed to each of you for your signature in the coming days. First item on the agenda is the selection of chairman and vice chairman. So at this time, I'd like to open nominations for the position of chairman. And that can be done just via motion, so anybody can nominate.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to nominate for chairman Commissioner Muse. He's not present tonight, but I do believe his tenure with the city and his proximity to the Desert Hot Springs Police Department are invaluable as a resource to this commission and integral to his leadership. So that would be my nomination.
Okay, is there a second to the nomination?
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Let's take a vote. Oh yeah, we'll do that next. Let's just do a roll call vote.
No, not yet. Did you want to do a verbal vote?
Commissioner Lozano?
Yes.
Commissioner Kenneth Mitchell?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin Mitchell?
Yes.
Commissioner Jose Trejo?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. So Brian Muse will be the chairman. At this time, I'd like to open nominations for the position of vice chair.
I would like to nominate Donna Lozano for vice chairman.
Oh, okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Maybe please have a vote.
Commissioner Lozano?
Oh, yeah.
Commissioner Kenneth Mitchell?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin Mitchell?
Yes.
Commissioner Trejo?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, Donna Lozano has been selected for the position of vice chair. So with the absence of the chair, Madam Vice Chair, I now turn the meeting over to you.
Oh,
We can take a brief recess and we can put you in the middle if that's
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I turn the meeting over to you.
Hello, thank you. And the meeting is called to order, and welcome to the first meeting of the Public Safety Commission 2023. Okay, I'd like to take a roll call.
Commissioner Trejo,
Here?
Commissioner M. Mitchell,
Here.
Commissioner K. Mitchell,
Here.
Vice Chair Lozano,
Present,
Chair Muse.
absent. Okay, thank you. I think we should do the Pledge of Allegiance, and Martin Mitchell, would you like to do that for us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay. Has everyone looked over the agenda? I'd like to have an approval of the agenda. Is it all okay?
I move that we approve the agenda for February 9th, 2023.
I'll second it.
And there you have it. What? What am I doing? Oh. Okay, the agenda has been approved, and the minutes from January 12th, has everyone gone over that to see, do they approve of that? Is there any changes or anything?
I'll move that we approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
Second.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about public comments.
I'm sorry, Madam Vice Chair, we need a vote on the
Oh.
approval of the minutes.
Okay, all in favor of the minutes? Who?
Aye.
Jose,
Yes.
second?
Yes.
Is that good?
Yes, thank you.
I'm a little rusty. Now we get to public comments. At this time, pursuant to the Brown Act, any person may comment on matters of general interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Public Safety Commission not listed on the agenda. Under the Brown Act, the Public Safety Commission should not take action on or discuss matters raised during public comment portion of the agenda that are not listed on the agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers may not yield their time to others without consent of the chair. All comments are to be directed to the Public Safety Commission and shall be a professional, courteous decorum during public comments. Please complete and submit a speaker card to the city clerk. You will be asked to state your name and city of residence for the record. I have here Christy Courtney. Is that correct? Yes. Would you like to come up, or? Yes. Turn the mic on, little red light there, in the middle of it. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm going to speak for a few people since I came with a lady named Sylvia in regard of my neighbors. We have caught in camera a lady, and excuse me, I don't remember the brand of the car, but I have it on my phone, that goes around between 1 and 5:30 in the morning. I live in Rancho del Oro, but I guess she goes all around those neighborhoods. And in her car, she just opens the mails and takes everything. And I thought stealing the mail was a federal offense. Plus, Sylvia, the lady that is back there, she had her on camera. So we want to know what the city can do about it. I'm disabled, but you know, sometimes I can't sleep, but I donate myself as vigilante if you guys want me to sit there and watch. you know, because sometimes with the pain, you know, I'm just with my eyes open, but I don't mind. I want to help because I think we live in a beautiful city. To me, it's very peaceful. I love the view. But when you don't feel safe, they start taking your mail. That's not good. And the other one is there's a lady that my neighbor that couldn't come, caught her in camera, and she goes around with her little dog without a leash, whatever is a little dog. But she steals plants, and she steals those barrel cactus that cost up over $100 or $100, depending on the size. And there's no more cactuses around. And in Rancho del Oro, where I live, yeah, I've been living in there 7 years. And I remember there used to be so many beautiful cactuses all through, and now you cannot find one, you know, in whatever is the communal, you know, hill once you enter. There's two sides, the west and the east. I live on the east, and those cactuses are gone, and a lot of plants are disappearing. So, you know, I don't want to blame anyone because someone says there's the guys that sell them on the corner, but unless you have proof, how can you know? But this lady was caught in camera yesterday, and she goes with her shovel, with her dog, and, you know, taking the plants out. So I do have a proposal, and, you know, what can be done. And because how can you go to someone's house, I think maybe following her, or what do you guys suggest we can do? And I know the police is busy with a lot of heavier things than a plant person stealing plants. But also the mail, I don't think that's safe, because first the mail, then the plants, and what's going to happen next. So I came to see how I can help, and, you know, how the neighbors, because they're all upset, but some people think that nobody cares, and I think everybody cares, you know, and we got to make this city safer. So I'm here to your disposition wherever I can donate my time. When I'm not in excruciating pain, you know, you can count on me. Okay? So that was my proposal.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is it Mr. Shaw, Chief, Deputy Police Chief? Is there something that you can direct her to? Okay. Yeah. Okay, he will speak to you when we're not online here, so you can take care of it.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for
I appreciate
bringing
your
that to
time
our
and
attention.
everything that you're doing for the city.
Thank you.
Thank you. You want me to turn it off?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Is that the only, okay, all right. Well, number 2, duties of the Public Safety Commission, and I believe that would be Ms. Mizrahi.
You got it. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, members of the commission. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today in person. I was there Tuesday and Wednesday, and tonight I'm with my son, who's 8. So, but should the commission need, I could definitely, you know, come in person next time. I just need just some notice to do so. So if we need to kind of talk about this stuff more, I'm happy to do it. Thank you, and congratulations to all the new commissioners and the reappointed commissioners. And I'm going to take a few minutes of your time tonight to talk about 2 issues. Number 1 is the Brown Act. It's really a little outside of necessarily the duties, but it's important that that the commission understand the Brown Act, because it does fall within your duties to comply with the Brown Act. And so I just kind of mention it, and I'm sorry for those who really know what the Brown Act is and probably could you know, tell everybody what I'm about to say, but it is important to kind of review, and we try to review at least once a year. And in addition to what I'm about to say, the commission members will also need to take an AB 1234 ethics training, which also includes Brown Act and Public Records Act as well. So with that, Madam Chair, may I dive into the Brown Act?
Please do.
Okay. So the Brown Act is an open meetings law. It was done in 1953. Some changes have been made to the Brown Act. However, some statutes are very antiquated, I must admit. But it pretty much ensures that the public's business is done in an open manner. And what that means is that we have this open meeting. Anybody could come and talk. Anybody could come and listen. We have an agenda. That agenda needs to be posted for regular meetings 72 hours in advance. of the meeting, and then for special meetings, it's 24 hours, and emergency meetings, it's 1 hour. So for us, normally 99% of the time, we post 72 hours in advance, make sure that people have sufficient notice. And what is probably the most important thing, there's a few things, but the most important thing I would say is things that are actually listed on the agenda. With that, the items listed on the agenda can be discussed at length, can be voted upon if action is needed or direction is needed. So it's very important to have items on the agenda whereby the commission can take action and discuss items. Things that are not on the agenda, listed as an agenda item, really should not be spoken about. The reason being is because the public has a right to comment on the agenda, to come and speak to items on the agenda, and to have notice of what's on the agenda. Again, the entire purpose of the Brown Act, I think, is to make sure that, number one, accountability, transparency, et cetera, but also to really ensure that the public has a lot of faith in the government system, and the government system is open and transparent. So that's why you will sometimes see that, hey, those things aren't on the items are not on the agenda, therefore we cannot speak of them. I'll give you an example. I know that at times you all receive a written report. You might receive written, reports about things happening in the city. Although you might receive a report, that actual item is not on the agenda, so the report and things within the report shouldn't be spoken about during the open public meeting. So that said, there are a few pitfalls, with all of a sudden, oh my goodness, do we have a meeting? The reason why people are sticklers about kind of not talking about business outside of the meeting is because we could accidentally have a serial meeting. And what that means is Commissioner A talks to Commissioner B. That's fine, no serial meeting. We don't have a quorum. This is, of course, outside of meeting. And then all of a sudden, unbeknownst to Commissioner A, Commissioner B talks to Commissioner C, they form a collective concurrence about a certain item, and boom, the Brown Act is broken, or violated, I should say. So we just really need to be very mindful about the items that we're discussing. They need to be open and public to ensure transparency. And that when we are at social settings, or maybe you're talking with another commissioner, we just really need to be mindful of talking about items and business that would come before the commission, so that we are not having a serial meeting. With that, I would say that there's a lot more to the Brown Act, but I just kind of wanted to give the commission, especially the new commissioners, a little bit of a flavor. That's why it's so important to do everything open and in public, because number one, it's the law, but number two, it really ensures the kind of faith in, a faith in the government, knowing that government decisions are done openly and not discreetly. Are there any questions about that? Gerald, did I kind of say some of the main topics? And of course, during your AB 1234 training, I go into much more detail, probably way too much, but you'll get more training on the Brown Act. Gerald, did I kind of cover things that, is anything else I should have covered for my 5-minute thing?
I believe so. I think you covered it all. Thanks,
Jen. Oh, great, sure. Okay, let me just turn this then. So that is a little bit about the open meetings law. Next, it's pretty much the duties of the commission. What's within your purview? What kind of body are you? So, interestingly, this commission was actually set up by a vote of the people, which is interesting, which is can be different than other kinds of commissions. And the ordinance that establishes the rules and regulations associated with this commission are codified, and they are codified in the municipal code. The actual code, it's actual law. And that chapter, I'm sure you all know, but it's chapter 2.40, and it establishes the creation of the commission, the duties of the commission, And then the meetings of the commission. So all of that is established in our code. This way we have a very clear understanding of what the commission can and can't do. Well, I should say not can and can't do, but more of the items that are within the commission's purview. I'm going to read, I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I'm going to read pretty much what it says in the municipal code about the duties of the commission, and then we can, we could maybe have a discussion or ask some questions about it. Section 2.40.020, it specifically says duties. It says, and it in the code section, it calls it the police commission. We call it public safety commission. But it says the police commission is an advisory body to the city council on matters concerning the funding of police services and establishing levels of law enforcement service to the city. So how I see that is it really does concern, funding of police services and law enforcement, establishing law enforcement levels of the city. And it is an advisory commission. So the duties are such that the decisions that you make are pretty much taken as advice for the city council. So that's what it says, and it continues to say the police commission shall have the duties as outlined. And again, this, how I read this, is this is really related to the funding and establishing levels of law enforcement. Is number one, to act as advisory to the police department and city council. And then two, to make recommendations relating to programs or projects that affect public safety. And again, how I read it is pursuant to, the funding of police services. So it's an important commission. As a matter of fact, it was so important, it was actually established by the people, which is the general, population of that of Desert Hot Springs. And I think that the city council takes the advice of the Public Safety Commission very seriously. We have some great people currently on the commission, and some wonderful people who are no longer on the commission who served for years. We're also really lucky to have obviously kind of direct access, if you will, to police and to definitely the police department. And we can, ask questions and really get some good knowledge with where, with what they're doing. Again, so it's like the funding of the police and establishing law enforcement levels. And that's what the duties are. So I know that you've had stuff on the agenda related to these items. And I think that the city council, as I said, they take this commission quite seriously. With that, something that's also within the municipal code is the meetings. You can have both regular and special meetings. I know that probably you don't have special meetings too often, but you can if it was warranted. And specifically by ordinance, it calls out the time of the commission meeting, etc. The reason why it's by ordinance is because it has to be in our municipal code, but B is because it establishes notice to persons who actually want to attend as well. And with that, I'm open for discussion or talking about anything related to the duties, and I'll take questions on the Brown Act too, and to kind of help this commission do what it does best.
Kenneth, you have anything?
With regards to the codification of meeting times, if we were to explore the possibility of switching meeting days of the week, if we were to choose we wanted to meet on a Monday or a Wednesday or anything like that, would that be usurping the municipal code and would therefore not be advised?
That's correct. So the meetings are in fact codified, and and unlike those of maybe some other commissions that were established by ordinance of the city council, this was actually established by ordinance of the people. So arguably, and I say arguably because I just haven't researched it, but arguably it would take a vote of the people to actually change the meeting times. Because this actually went to a vote back in, was it like 80s or 90s? Or let me see if I have that. It was a long time ago when this actually went to a vote. of the people for the meeting times. So again, I say arguably because I'd have to look at it, but regardless, it would definitely have to be done by ordinance. It would either be, again, either ordinance by the city council or ordinance by a vote of the people. So we cannot just change the meeting times without adoption of an ordinance.
Okay, that satisfies one question. I'm sure we'll have another one as the meeting progresses. Thank you.
If I could add to that as well, so we would have to go back and check if the initial ordinance that was voted on by the people, as Jennifer mentioned, if that also included the meeting dates and times. So if we find that that wasn't included in that initial ordinance adopted by the voters, and then, if there's an additional ordinance that was adopted by the city council that set the meeting dates and times, then it would be, if the commission wanted to change the meeting dates and times, then if that ordinance was adopted by the council, then that would be much easier to do than rather than going back to the voters. That makes sense.
Yes, it does. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Martin Mitchell, you have a question?
No questions.
Commissioner Jose?
No
Trejo?
questions.
And I have none. I've been through this. But I thank you very much, and we all need to be updated all the time, so I thank you very much.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Of course.
Enjoy your son.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, as we go, we'll learn more and more, and if there are questions, we know we can get them answered from Ms. Rahi, okay? All right, here we go. Next on the on the agenda, we're all ready to Animal Control Monthly Report. And that would be Deputy Police Chief Stephen Shaw.
Good evening, and I actually have Sergeant Zamora from Animal Control here, so she'll give the report to you.
Oh, good, okay. There you go.
Okay, so for the month of January, we've kind of picked up a little bit more on our intakes for our residents here. We had 44 animal intakes, whether that be strays or deceased. And then we returned actually 19 of those back to their owners, which all having microchipped and, vaccinated within our facility. We sent 5 of those to rescues. 5 of our shelter dogs were adopted. One was sent to CVAC, which is the Coachella Valley Animal Campus, the county shelter, and that was only due to an animal bite, so it's no charge to the city, it goes charged to the owners. We took 10 to the vet for serious injuries. We had 9 deceased. 1 passed away at the facility due to illness and age. We euthanized 4 due to serious medical conditions that were found as strays. We licensed 30 animals. We have given over 29 administrative sites for licensing, microchipping, and rabies vaccinations. We've also given 37 courtesy warnings to get their dogs microchipped and vaccinated and licensed with the city. We had 186 calls for service. We do have the Mobile Animal Action League bus that comes and helps our community out, and they actually spayed and neutered 30 of city residents' animals so that they can be licensed and registered with the city.
Any questions? Commissioner Mitchell?
What's your staffing like now? Because you were up against it with the staffing for quite a while, and we determined that from the city council meeting.
Yeah, so we had 2 serious medical injuries that caused staffing to go down to almost 1 animal control officer. We did hire recently here another one that's in training, so that'll be probably a couple of months in training, and then we'll be able to go out in the field. So right now, as it stands, we have 2 running on shift and then 1 in training. So as soon as that one goes off, estimated April, May, we'll be at 3 for the facility. 3 officers.
Okay, and to what degree, when we talk about the Coachella Valley Animal Campus, we talk about the Animal Action League bus, just how much do these other entities support you and lighten your load or assist you in accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish, considering you have this, this staffing issue that's in process of being corrected, but...
So as it stands, our shelter, is we're extremely over capacity, and that's not just us, that's throughout everywhere. If you contact any shelter, they're over capacity. Our shelter, we do not euthanize, so we have to house our dogs until one, somebody adopts them, or 2, we get them out to rescues. So we have been over capacity for a while. As far as the Coachella Valley Animal Campus, we don't really send our animals out there, just due to, 1, not overwhelming them as well, And then 2, the only reason why we would send somebody over there is 1, like the animal bite, so it doesn't cost the city anything. If we do send a dog over there, it costs the owner because an animal, if it bites a person, it has to be quarantined for 10 days, and the quarantine fees go to the owners instead of the city. So as far as them unloading or us unloading or helping, it's not a real big help with them. As far as the Animal Action League bus, they do come to our parking lot at least once or twice a month. That helps with the community in spay and neutering, microchipping, vaccinating. So with that realm of that helping the community, then they come into our facility and license their dogs. So having a dog spayed and neutered helps the population go down. Microchipping helps us get dogs out of our shelter extremely fast. I've had 5 intakes just today alone, and 3 of them were microchipped that we got back to the owners like immediately. So they do help us extremely.
I didn't remember all that.
It's a big impact.
Okay,
Thank you. Answers my question.
Commissioner Trejo?
So besides the 3 officers, do you have any sort of volunteers? And I also, before there used to be another bus that used to come in to the city. I believe it was the SNP bus. I don't know if it's the same as this one, but I see it going through to the other cities, but not to DHS anymore. Is there a reason why they don't come here?
So the SNP bus, we don't. They want the city to pay for their services, and their services are extremely high. The Animal Action League bus, they get donations that allows their bus to come to our city, so the city doesn't front the money. They get grants and everything for the city to be available to our city community. So that's the difference in Animal Action League bus versus the SNP bus.
The volunteers, you don't have any volunteers besides the officers?
We don't have any volunteers at this time. We do accept volunteers, but we don't have any.
And do we advertise for volunteering? And if so, where is it the newspaper, or how do we advertise for them?
We do advertise on, I believe, our city website as well as our Facebook page. We do get a lot of people that come in that say they want to volunteer, but they never come back and fill out the paperwork to be a volunteer.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty sad. And Commissioner Martin Mitchell?
No questions. My questions were asked.
Yeah. I was going to ask about the volunteers as well, so I'm good too. You're doing a good job. It's a hard job, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, code compliance. Would that be Christina Newsom?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. So in the month of January, Code Compliance Division, we performed 136 service requests, 504 inspections, issued 115 courtesy notices of violation, 71 citations totaling $66,800. We retrieved 47 shopping carts from the public right-of-way. We also participated in the Riverside County point in time count. It was a very successful effort. We had a very large staff, a county representative, the police department was out with us. And then one of our officers conducted a very large abatement of abandoned vehicles off of 20th and Beacon. You can see some of the photos there. These vehicles have, it's been a very long time since we needed to tow these vehicles, so she had a very successful abatement out there. This is a part of some cleanup efforts that we've been doing with respect to illegal dumping out there, some unhoused individuals camping in illegal, non-conforming structures. So this is just one part of the effort, but made a huge contribution to the cleanup. That concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Kenneth Mitchell?
No questions at this time.
Thank you. Commissioner Martin Mitchell?
When I read this earlier, what's the count for the unhoused population?
So our preliminary internal count was at a little over 95. That could change though, because we do it based on software. So when we're out there actually doing the survey, we go through and do a host of questions in an electronic survey. So all of those numbers that we count physically out there in the encampments may not translate to the same thing electronically.
Thank you. Commissioner Trejo?
Yes, thank you. I had one question in regards to the inspections, and I'm not sure if this falls into this, but if it doesn't, forgive me. But for the inspections, I've spoken to a few people that I know that in the case of solar, I've spoken to a few people that got solar, and it's been 3-4 months, and they haven't got an inspection. Is there anything we can do to help with that, or is there a reason why it takes so long to get an inspection, like for solar? Or
so that would not fall under my department. That would be the building department.
Okay.
What I would say is that if those people are waiting for the inspection to automatically happen, it's not going to. There's a number that you can call at the city hall. You leave a message, and essentially you're put into a queue every day. And so that's the basis for the inspections that the inspectors conducted that day with respect to building permits. So if they're having, and usually it's, if you call, you can get one within that week. So there shouldn't be a wait time. After the meeting, I can give you that extension that you can give those people, and they can leave a message. And then if they're still having issues, I can give you the contact information for our building inspector.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I just wonder how much or how many are in your staff as well? Are you overloaded as well?
So right now we're comfortable. I'll say we can always use more staff, obviously, but we are comfortable, and we've actually outgrown our building officially. So we currently have 3 full-time officers, city staff, doing regular code enforcement activities. We have 1 vacation rental staff officer who 100% of the time does vacation rental. We have a contract officer doing AVA only, so abandoned vehicle authority work. And then we have 2 contract officers full-time doing focused work in the shopping center and commercial areas, and then 1 in the residential areas.
Oh, good. I like seeing your before and after pictures. You guys are really doing a great job, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Was it more difficult when the rains came? Did things get super messed from that in some of the areas that you are concerned with?
Yeah, it's always a little bit of a struggle after the rain. It causes a little bit of difficulty getting out to some of these locations in our vehicles, and there's some cleanup
Right.
to be had. A lot of that cleanup, the Public Works Department takes care of that, so I will give them
Okay.
all of the credit. It's kind of just a normal day for us.
Wow. Thank you. I appreciate you. Any more? Okay, good. Moving right along, Fire Department, Mike Beverlin, Fire Chief.
Good evening, Commissioners. Nice to see you all. Nice to meet you. Mike Beverlin, your fire chief. Normally what we do for our monthly update is kind of look through the fire department monthly jurisdictional report that's in your agenda packet. And normally commissioners might have some questions as to some of those things. With the new commissioners, I might just explain quickly kind of what some of these data points are. So, excuse me, in the top left-hand corner, what you see is an incident response activity, and what that's showing you is what type of emergency we responded to and how many times we responded to it. So in that incident type for the month of January, we responded to 493 total emergencies for the month. On the right-hand side, what you see is a bunch of numbers that kind of tell you what response times look like for the fire engine. So the National Fire Protection Association recommends that response times for fire department are 4 minutes or less 90% of the time. And what that means to us is that once a fire engine is dispatched, firefighters get onto the engine, and as soon as those wheels start turning, that's when the response time begins, and they should be within 4 minutes. So as you can see there in the average, in the bottom left-hand corner of that box, the average response time for January was 5 minutes and 19 seconds. And then on the right-hand side at the bottom of the box, it says 60%, and that's basically the NFPA standard is 4 minutes 90% of the time. And so what we have here is 5.19 minutes 60% of the time. Now, thanks to the Public Safety Commission and city council members and the wonderful staff in the city, we have plans to address some of those needs, and those plans are in motion. I don't know if right now is a good time to talk about all those things, but at a later date, I'll probably do a presentation kind of where we've been, where we're going, what that all looks like, so that you can get a good idea of what we're doing. If you scroll down onto what's labeled as mutual aid, what this depicts is that one section of the box says jurisdictional responses 384, and what that means is that the units that are assigned to Desert Hot Springs responded to 384 calls out of those total 493 that you saw up at the left-hand side. This isn't specifically to incidents. This is how many units actually responded. So in the top left-hand corner, it says 493. That's how many incidents we responded to. This section that we're looking to now is how many units actually responded. So as you can see, 384 times engine 37 responded, and you can see that we gave up 67 mutual aids from engine 37 to go outside the city, and we received 288 mutual aids from outside the city coming into the city. That's part of our issue with response times, and we're working on a way to deal with that. If you scroll down a little bit farther, you'll see a list of significant incidents for the month. One of those incidents being a commercial structure fire, one of those incidents being a fire in the area of 20th Avenue and Beacon, and then multiple reports of a residential structure fire in Kauai Avenue. And so basically those significant incident reports are auto-generated from the incident commanders of the incident. They'll input all the information, and then a report will get spit out, and then this monthly report is spit out auto-generated as well. So sometimes we'll find some data errors and whatnot, so if you see something strange that you have questions about, please let me know. Can I answer any questions about this report?
Commissioner Kenneth Mitchell.
Of course.
I know.
You knew it was coming. So when we talk about jurisdiction units responses, we're talking specifically about engine 37, responding out of station 37.
Yes, sir.
Do we have any statistics for station 36?
I don't have any currently, no.
No? Okay. Is there a methodology that we could include the station, since 36 is within the corporate limits of the city of Desert Hot Springs, because we get their statistics as well included in this report?
So I believe there's a way, I just don't know what would be the best way to express it, because, you know, the engine at Fire Station 36 is cost shared with the county. And so figuring out which jurisdiction fits in where, I'll work with my GIS folks to see if there's a good way to get that figured out, and I'll get back to you.
Okay. Let's see. That's good. As far as that report goes, that's the only question that I have right now. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Kenneth Mitchell? I mean, Martin Mitchell. Sorry, two Mitchells.
Too much.
And no questions.
Commissioner Trejo?
No questions.
Good. Well, I just wanted to remind everyone that Commissioner Kenneth Mitchell is a retired fireman, so he knows all the stuff and all the things, so we appreciate him as well as Mr. Beverlin. And we thank you for your report.
So I have one more item. Yes, sir. I'm going to have the clerk throw up some statistics. Last time we met, I received an ask from one of the commissioners, and I'm sorry, I can't remember which one, asked for some trends. So what you see in front of you is a little spreadsheet of trends for the last 5 years. And so some of the things that jump out from my perspective is the false alarms. 13.8% of the total incidents are in relation to false alarms. That's a little bit higher than the national average. And so at some point, I'll probably bring to you maybe some ways that we can correct some of those false alarms, or work on a PR campaign to try to loosen or lessen the load for the firefighters. You know, if we can get rid of 10% of those calls, that's 10% that they'll be available for true emergencies. As you can see on the medical aid line there, over the 5-year study, there's a 20% increase in medical aids. And going towards the bottom, you can see that the 5-year total, Desert Hot Springs Fire Department ran 25,071 incidents. That's a percentage change of about 19.5%, which is pretty close to average for Riverside County. We've been throughout the area going up somewhere between 3 and 6% a year. The one thing that kind of threw us off a little bit was the 2020 year, where Desert Hot Springs went up 9.3%. However, almost everybody else went drastically down because of the isolation orders from COVID. So that was a unique characteristic there. And so over the 5 years, we went up 883 calls, and towards the bottom there you can see that we provided 4,596 mutual aid for units and got back 14,431. So that's kind of the 5-year trends, and I'd entertain any questions that you might have for that.
Anyone? I have a question as to your presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know when you might want to or be able to do that to bring everybody up to par?
I can do it whenever you like.
Next meeting, would that be good? Okay, can you put that on the agenda for next meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
And then the last thing I had was Commissioner Kenneth Mitchell.
I know.
Apologize. Missed a meeting where we had the Emergency Command Center folks come out, and I was wondering if you had any questions or comments about that, because I know we had talked about that a little bit.
Thanks. Yeah, that was actually on my mind. That was an excellent presentation. I had the opportunity to peruse it on my computer from home, and if there was any question as to why our dispatchers receive the compensation that they do, it was evident in that presentation. They are very hardworking, they're very well trained, and I think that we used to have a saying in the fire service ourselves: without quality dispatchers, we run around the fire engine when we get to the scene. They provide a necessary service, and there's not much more. I can be more effusive in my praise, but without getting too saccharine about it. I was upset that I was able to miss that meeting, but I'm very, very pleased with what we have in Paris. It doesn't preclude me visiting it there.
100%.
I still want that to happen, but otherwise, fantastic.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you all for listening to me babble about these statistics, and if you have any questions about anything fire department related, please let me know, and I'll do my best to be prepared for the next meeting.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful. Thank you. And now we are to Deputy Police Chief Stephen Shaw with our Police Department report.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to start with the crime stats. Occasionally, when the meeting falls at a particular time of the month, the crime stats aren't completely in, so you don't have the actual crime stat numbers because they weren't ready. So I'm just going to go over a few of those stats for you. And again, that usually just has to do with when the meeting falls. If it's closer to the beginning of the month, it takes a little time to compute those stats. So I apologize for that. But for the month of January, I normally like to hit on some of our more serious crime, but we had no homicides. There was 1 rape investigation, 3 robbery investigations. We did have 19 aggravated assault investigations, 23 burglary investigations, and 24 motor vehicle theft investigations. So obviously this is the first month of the year, and as we go through the year, we'll be able to compare those compared to other years and see how we're doing. So what kind of hard to do that right now with just 1 month. In terms of our patrol stats, for the month of January, we had a total of 2,184 calls for service. We had another 1,375 officer-initiated calls and 66 accidents in the city for a total of 3,625 calls for service for the month of January. We had 1,375 traffic stops and building checks. 590 of those were specific traffic stops, with a total of 419 citations given. We had 24 arrests, 15 felony arrests, and 5 DUI arrests. Total arrests for the month of January was 86. So those are some initial crime and patrol stats for the month. In terms of what's been going on, other stuff going on in the police department for this month, we have this Saturday, so just in a couple days in the city, we have the Tour de Palm Springs event occurring that will be coming through the city of Desert Hot Springs. That event starts in the city of Palm Springs, and all the routes come through Desert Hot Springs. So the entire police force will be out Saturday morning. Kicks off from Palm Springs at about 6:15 in the morning, and the riders head into the city. And usually by about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the riders are out. But the basic route is they come in off of Indian Canyon, they go up Worsley, and up to Indian, come back down, and Mission Lakes and Little Morongo, and then out the city through Dillon. A couple of the smaller legs, the 25-mile-an-hour route and the 34-mile route, those riders, and it's about 800 of those riders, when they come to Dillon and Palm, they'll go southbound on Palm and they go back to Palm Springs to end their route. The rest of the riders continue eastbound and continue through the Coachella Valley and eventually end up back in Palm Springs. So that'll be taking place on Saturday. We talked about, Code already talked about the point and count with the homeless. Staffing and our dispatch center. So last time I talked to you that we were very close on the dispatch center. We have testing that continues to go on through our vendors. They're here this week. Tomorrow, folks from Cal OES will be at the dispatch center testing. We anticipate, I think last time I talked to you, we were shooting for the 13th of February to go live here. Right now we're between the 13th of February and the 22nd of February, so we're extremely close, just some final items that they're just trying to fix up and be ready to go. But we're still full staffed right now, dispatching out of Cathedral City. So again, very close. Hopefully by next meeting we'll be talking about that. We're live here at our own dispatch center. And I said full staff, but we're staffed. We're We're funded for 10 full-time dispatchers and 4 part-time dispatchers. We currently have 4 part-time dispatchers hired and 9 full-time dispatchers hired. So we do have a couple other folks that are going through the process right now. So I anticipate us to be fully staffed here within the next few weeks with that. Staffing for the police department, we are funded for 33 officers. We're currently at 27. That includes 1 officer that we have going through the police academy right now, and he's in about his 3rd month of the police academy, and it's a 6-month academy. So he's about halfway through the academy on that. So we have a couple other applicants that are going through the background process right now, so we'll see how those pan out. Our community service officers, we are fully staffed. We're slated for 3, and we have 3 full-time community service officers on staff. And then our rest of our professional staff, our record staff, our property and evidence staff, we're fully staffed in those areas. But we are still taking applications for community service officers, animal control officers, and police officers. So if anybody is interested, they can contact the police department. They can go online. They can go on the city website, and they'll be directed to an online application that they can file, and then we'll be giving them a call to move them through that process. So that's what's going on with the police department. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Commissioner Trejo?
On one of the previous meetings, I believe it was in December, I was looking, and it was said that just like any other field, I guess, we're struggling to get candidates, right, for the police. Is there some sort of incentive that we have for applicants, or are there just no applicants out there right now?
Yeah, so it's a challenge for every law enforcement agency throughout the nation. Right now, everybody's struggling with both recruitment and retention. We do not offer a hiring bonus. Some agencies do, and we've gotten mixed reviews on that, on if it's effective or not. But what the city has done, the city has hired for the police department a professional recruiting agency called Epic Recruiting, and they are putting together a professional recruiting campaign for us. In fact, they were out here 2 weeks ago. They're coming. I just had a meeting again with them today. They're based out of the Phoenix area, but they do a lot of different type of recruiting. But right now, talking to the owner, about 90% of their business is recruitment for law enforcement agencies. So they're extremely versed in that. They'll be back out here towards the end of February. They will be spending 2 days shooting videos, and their campaign is a mixture of videos. It's a social media campaign where they have the expertise to target specific individuals and groups and draw them into our city. And so they'll be showcasing the city and the police department and what we have to offer. So we're expecting really good things from that.
Thank you. Commissioner Martin Mitchell?
No questions.
Commissioner Kenneth Mitchell? This is hard.
A couple of things, Chief. As I peruse your statistics, and I'm going down towards the bottom, I'm looking at the municipal code violations. I'm aware that there is a private security apparatus or agency that we employ for the short-term vacation rentals to help with them.
Yes,
and to see if there's any violations in the municipal code. Are they included in your statistics here?
They are not. This is just the police department.
Okay. Okay. Very well. And I didn't know, it was more of a question for my fellow commissioners, and Donna probably remembers. I know that that meeting that I missed was also the presentation of the proposed, or the very initial proposal for expanding police staffing, which in a nutshell, we were talking about getting to your authorized staffing of 33, yes, and then once we arrived at that point, we would then explore expanding maybe 1 sergeant and 4 officers and kind of use them as a variable crime surge team. And did we approve that and recommend that to the city council at the last meeting, Donna? Do you remember?
I do not remember that.
Okay, okay.
Gerald, would you?
I can probably comment on that for you too. Yeah. I actually missed that meeting. I was out of town at a conference. So I don't think anything was approved. There were some initial numbers, but I'm happy if we want to look at a future meeting to go over that presentation again for you guys and give you that information, but there was nothing that was voted on that was approved to move forward with the staffing.
And then perhaps we can vote then. Okay, can you tell us when you might be able to do that?
Like the fire chief, you guys pick which meeting you'd like, and maybe break up the chief's presentation and my presentation, but I have it and I can give it to you anytime.
Or 2 months? How about 2 months?
2 months out would be
Yeah.
fine with me.
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
Daniel? Okay, I have a question. How many cars do we have?
Oh, we're actually not doing too bad in cars. So one exciting thing, and I forgot, thanks for bringing that up. We just got our prisoner transport van. It took, almost a year to get.
Wow.
But that arrived last week. In fact, today it just got done with the decals on it, and we just put it out into service today. So what that allows us, the majority of our transports to jail are done by our community service officers because that does take someone out of the city. And so having our community service officers take care of those transport for us leaves a police officer in the city. And then the prisoner transport van can hold up to 12 people, so that if we have multiple transports prior to having the van, it's sometimes you can fit one, maybe sometimes 2 people in a vehicle.
Yeah.
But if you have more, then you have a community service officer and sometimes a police officer going back and forth, just driving to jail. Not normally it's Indio that we go for booking people into jail. So the transport van it's brand new, it's fantastic, and we're looking forward to being able to utilize that. As far as patrol vehicles, we're doing pretty good. Our vehicles take a beating out here, as everybody knows. It's pretty rough elements out here in the deserts. But I don't have the exact number of what we have. But every officer is assigned a vehicle. And some officers have to share a vehicle, so depending on what shift they're working, one may have it during the day and one may have it during the night. So some of them are getting 24 hours of use still. There are some vehicles that are just running for one shift, so they get a little bit of rest. We did just receive also two new vehicles, 2 new patrol vehicles, one for our supervisors. That's a Dodge Durango SUV. That's just got completed being outfitted, and that is going out into service. And then our typical Ford Interceptor, which is the Ford Explorer Interceptors that you normally see out there, and that's the build out on that is just being completed. So we are getting those, and we are now looking also at a new police motorcycle. We have 2 police motorcycles. One of them's getting a little bit older, but we're looking at putting 2 officers through an upcoming motorcycle academy. So we're looking at expanding that police motorcycle fleet. So.
Oh, that was my question, the motorcycles as well. Well, that's good. Well, is our color white? Is that what it is?
For the vehicles?
Yeah.
We have a mixture. In the past, we had supervisor vehicles that were all black, and then the officer vehicles were black and white. And the newer ones that we've done over the last year have all been black and white.
Oh.
We do have a couple white vehicles out there that are older vehicles. We have one of the community service officer vehicles. It's an Explorer, but it's all white. And we have a truck that's used by our community service officer that's all white. So you might see a mixture of those, and our transport van is all white. So you might see a mixture of them, but for the most part, it's going to be black and white.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, I'm done. Anyone? Other questions? Well, thank you very much. We know you're doing a great job. You come in with a smile all the time. So thank you. So we'll be looking forward to that report in 2 months. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you. Now we come to the fun part of the commissioner reports. I don't know if you've had any time to come up with anything that you would like to address. We'll start with, okay, Commissioner Trejo, no. Commissioner Martin. And we have Commissioner Kenneth Mitchell.
Thank you. Well, there's a couple of things that in the past 2 years I've been up there, we've set some pretty lofty goals for ourselves.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, we've actually seen a couple of them come to fruition. We have we're expanding the fire service. There's actually a plan in place that is moving forward, and we're very excited about that. We're going to be dealing with the expansion of the police force, and we'll be taking a look at that report in a couple of months, and we're looking forward to that as well. What I'll be looking at for my own activity is probably not quite so lofty. I'll be looking to get a base hit rather than a grand slam. But there's a couple of things that interest me. I'll be talking with Chief Beverlin in the months coming up about I'm sure you've heard about it, about an activity known as Fire Ops 101 that I would like to bring to Desert Hot Springs. And if you've ever wanted to see what our esteemed city council members would look like in fire turnout gear, and as they enter the drill tower to make rescues and extinguish fires, and that might be the end result of that. So I know it's a program that's established by the National Firefighters Union, International Association of Firefighters, and we'll talk about just how to coordinate that and to make that come to fruition. I would like to get some final resolution to a question I've had for a while, and that's the notification of significant incidents to the commissioners. There was, it kind of fell off the wagon for a while, but I do think that it's a legitimate question. There should be some final resolution to it. We're not going to threaten anybody with our attendance at scenes or anything like that, but if there's something of considerable import that's taking place in Desert Hot Springs with regards to public safety, if no other thing, we should be advised about it. We shouldn't wait for, God forbid, a tragedy occur and something happens to the response and somebody attends this meeting and wants to know what happened, and my response to that person would be, well, I don't know.
Right.
Or did you watch the news or anything? I don't think that's what we're for. I think if there is a significant incident in Desert Hot Springs where somebody's injured, or if there's significant property damage, I should be able to let them know at least, yes, we're aware of it and we're investigating it and we're going to work with the appropriate agencies to bring some type of resolution to it. And so I'm going to continue to pursue that and see if there's if not a resolution, then a compromise as far as that issue is concerned. There was one other issue I was interested in, but it fails me at this time. That's what happens when you get on the high side of 55, so I'm going to stop there.
I'm not going there. Thank you very much. And now for mine, I have two things. We've discussed this before. I think Deputy Chief Shaw is about the smell on Two Bunch Palms. It's reeking, I always worry about those kids from high school going up and down the street getting these free highs, and I just don't appreciate it. It really smells bad. And that was one of the rules, that they would get fans and do their thing. And I don't know, is it you to approach again? Because you discussed it before with us.
Yeah, not to put Christina on the spot, but I believe code does look at those, so.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. So the industrial area is a little bit different in that it's not a zero tolerance when it comes to odor. It just needs to be mitigated. So the rule of thumb is that if you can sort of smell it from the facility out into the middle of the street, then it's an issue. So when you have those incidents, if you give us a call and just notify us, we'll have an officer immediately go out and notify the facility.
Okay, then I will do that. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And the other thing is our streets. I'm not happy with what they're doing, turning things into one way up from 8th Street, I believe. And we're getting a median up there. What do we need that for? And the streets are so bumpy and ragged. I remember when Palm Springs did their big changes over on their streets. It was seamless. And for us, it's this part's closed one day, this part's closed another day, and the streets are horrible. I mean, they're not smooth. And they're not nice. Who should we go to on that? Hello.
Yeah, I know it came up at City Council on Tuesday night. So Daniel Porras would be the go-to person on that, and Daniel can get you the answers as far as what's going on with city streets and new construction, old construction, and maintenance on those streets.
Okay, then that's where I'll go. And that concludes who I am and where I am for this meeting. Anything? Anyone want to discuss anything? Are we all done?
I did think of something right now, but it's in regards to the panhandling, and especially like, for example, in the Arco station, and it's getting pretty bad. And I was wondering if there's anything being done about that, because I mean, I have teenage daughters that drive, and it's scary for them to go in there, because they go there and they get bombarded with 3 or 4 people panhandling. And
Yeah, absolutely. And so our officers, they do know that when they're out on patrol, not answering radio calls and doing proactive work, that is one of the things we're looking for. But also, folks, either business owners or private residents, if you see them out there, please give us a call, and we will formulate a call for service and get an officer out there to address it.
That does remind me of one thing. All of the vendors, the food vendors, don't they need a license and some kind of health thing to do that? There's big ones.
Yeah, they do, and the police department and code work together with the vendors, and we've done a pretty good job. And unfortunately, what we've seen a lot of them do is they go over to the different side of the street, which now puts them over in the county area, which makes it difficult, obviously, for us to do any type of enforcement. But it is something that I know code routinely goes out and checks on, as does the police department. And we go out there and we contact them and move them on. I will tell you, one thing that we do find with these vendors is a lot of them will come out there and tell them we're going to issue them a citation and impound their equipment. And a lot of them say that's fine, because for them, that's just a drop in the bucket compared to what they make there. So some of them are willing to take that, and then they're back again. But we're not giving up on it. But one of the big challenges is when they go out there and they move to a different side of the street. I know code does do, and again, not to speak for Christina, but code does do enforcement details in conjunction with the county, so that if they do move wrong and they're not in our area, then the county does come out. But it is an ongoing project that we're working on.
Oh, okay, thank you. Any more questions?
Just one. It finally showed up. It showed up in there. See?
Oh.
Not so bad, not so bad at all. It came to my attention that there is a responsibility matrix. I guess the mayor assigns the council members certain responsibilities and certain commissions that they belong to. And in perusing that, I came to my attention that there is a regional public safety meeting here held at the Coachella Valley Association of Governments. I think they hold it down at was that Palm Desert City Hall? And I was interested in, perhaps, with their permission, of course, shadowing along, because in my experience, the economies of scale, interagency cooperation, public-private partnerships, that's going to be the future of public safety delivery. That's just the way we're going. I mean, especially when we have a recession coming up, and we're going to have to start tightening our belts again. Right. We're going to have to be a little more innovative and creative in making sure that the citizens, not just here in Desert Hot Springs, but in the entire Coachella Valley, have adequate public safety response and resources. And I'm done.
So then you would like to attend one of those meetings?
Yes. I wouldn't like to preclude anyone else from volunteering, though, if someone else wants to go.
Don't look at me. I'm interested in knowing more about it, though, yes. Okay, think we're done? The fun meeting adjourned at 7:16 or 15. Thank you.